Good evening, everybody. I have another OMPL tournament replay for you. Balanced Hackmons. It's from week 2. My battle against pinkdragontamer, or PDT. It's a bit of a misleading username. He doesn't have any pink dragons, as far as I can tell. Maybe he's a dragon tamer and he's also pink. I don't know. Anyway, so I'll go over my team. From looking at his replays, snooping them out, I saw two things mainly. First was a lot of balanced teams that were weak to pixelate or refrigerate Mewtwo X, which is what I brought. This is pixelate. And quite a bit of hyper offense. So I wanted to build a team that was solid against hyper offense while also you're not sucking against balanced teams. Like when you're trying to prep for hyper offense, it's easy to sort of go off the deep end and run like Skill Link Pheromosa or some shit, which works, but that set's just dog shit against anything else. So it's not worth it. My team is Stealth Rock, E-Speed, Boom Burst, Close Combat, Pixelate Mewtwo X, Imposter Proof by Magic Bounce Ho-Oh, which is a cool set. Magic Bounce rather than Magic Guard. Obviously weak to Stealth Rocks, but it takes on Normalized Gengar and like Hazard's Diancie really well. So it's a nice set. This is Poison Heal, Primal Kyogre with a pretty old school set. It's Quiver Dance, Scold, Ice Beam, Spore. It's like some black white shit. Even XY shit. I guess we're on Moonblast and XY for Gyarados. But anyway, like this set is very good against hyper offense because hyper offense has like garbage sleep counters. You just get up a quiver and you spore everything. It's great. The Ho-Oh is Shore Up, V-Create, Anchor Shot, Spectral Thief. So that beats Imposter. It's not easy to set up on. Does all that shit. This is Scarf Imposter. It's a pretty bad Prankster Giratina set. It's Shore Up, Haze, Core Enforcer, Glare. And the last slot on this team, like I really went back and forth in team building between a lot of different stuff. I eventually decided on Sandstream Tita with Shore Up, Knockoff, Anchor Shot, Defog. It's hit or miss like as a set, but I think it sort of fills this team's needs. It's a good ray counter. It stomps Shed. Sand breaks Focus Sashes. It defogs. It's it's fine. It's bad, but it's could be worse. Looking at the matchup, he's brought a kind of balanced team that I'd expect from him, except he does have a Pixelate Mewtwo X counter, which is very annoying. Makes it hard for my Mewtwo X to really do much in this game, though he does have a Giratina to lure, which is good. Steelix isn't much of a threat. My whole sort of offensive core gets past without too much trouble. There's a Dialga, which I'm kind of concerned about. Dialga often does well against Poison Heal Kyogre, so I knew it would be a priority to sort of try and weaken this. I figured his Diancie was probably imposter proof by Ho-Oh, which meant that my Ho-Oh probably took it on, so that was good. But going into the match, I knew I really wanted to scout out the Dialga to figure out what I needed to do to get past it, whether or not it actually countered my Kyogre. I thought it was likely to be Prankster Giratina, because he doesn't have any other obvious any other obvious like candidates for his Prankster. I don't think Prankster Steelix is very good. Prankster Ho-Oh is pretty uncommon. And I mean, there is a possibility it's a no Prankster team, but you know how it'd be. Alright, so I lead Imposter because there's a lot of things I want to scout on this team. I don't have any other obvious great leads. I don't want to lead. I considered the possibility of him leading Imposter. There's actually not much on my team that I want to lead into Imposter, so I just play it safe, lead Imposter. He does the same. It's just some standard shit. This is I swear like half of all BH games start like this. I don't remember exactly what his imposter set was, but I do remember that it couldn't stop me from getting my Toxic Orb up. So I just go into Kyogre, get the Orb up for free, It's always good to do early. He has the same idea, goes into his Ho-Oh to activate that thing's Toxic Orb. So that reveals this as Magic Guard, which means that even though Mewtwo X is walled by it, I can still at least get up rocks on it, which is good to know. Here, I just play it safe. I click Scold. I just want to sort of get a sense for what's on his team, so I make the safe play, and I don't want to reveal too much about my set at this point either, because I'm looking at it and thinking that this has a very good shot of winning the game later on. He goes into Dialga, gets burned. That damage reveals that he's not Assault Vest, so I'm thinking this is probably like a Doom Desire set or something. Getting the burn there, like at the time I was like, sick, I got a burn, I can wear it down. In hindsight, like I never actually found out what this thing's ability was, but it might have actually been better not to get the burn so that I could have spored it later. I don't know. We'll see though. I don't want to get like Anchor Shotted, I want to get Core Enforced. So I go out into Ho-Oh. I could have gone into Imposter again. I didn't want to get got by Anchor Shot this early, although I did really want to scout this. He goes for Tail Glow, which reveals that it is a Doom Desire set. I was kind of worried here. If he'd been Tinted Lens, I would have just straight up died to like Corkscrew Crash. But I didn't have anything to switch into that anyway. Like, in hindsight, I maybe should have gone Chansey here, just to scout it out, because the Doom Desire sets very rarely run Anchor Shot. So I could have scouted this. I could have, like, they would have covered him going for Corkscrew Crash, because Chansey could have taken that. But I go for Spectral Thief here, as he goes Steelix. This pretty much confirms this is Flash Fire. Like, this play makes no sense if it's not. It also makes me think that this Dialga is probably not Tinted Lens, or he probably should have just dropped the Z on the Z move on that turn. All right, so the letter Z, like the last letter of the alphabet, we say that Z in Australia, but like everyone else, like every other country, there's Z moves, and I have to, because like I hear people say that so much, it's like ingrained into me to call them Z moves, even though I call the letter Z, and I'm trying to fight it. I'm trying to fight that urge to call them Z moves. They're Z moves. The letter is I say Z. I'm not gonna. Anyway, sorry. He goes Steelix. It's leftovers. That doesn't tell me much. In another time, that might have been a clue that it was Magic Bounce, but nowadays, leftovers, like safety goals, is just not what it was. So I get out of here. I go to Koga just because it's safe. It forces this out. Like, I figured there probably wasn't much he could do that would punish me for this play, and this gets initiative. You know, the Dialga's at 70. I can maybe get something going. I make a. This was just like a dumb play here. I was trying to double Chansey on Dialga, but I was just really stupid and forgot how switching and speed and imposter mechanics work, so I just transform into the Steelix instead. Thankfully, it doesn't go too bad, but I could have, if I just stayed in with a Koga or like doubled into Mewtwo, I could have pressured this, but it's whatever. The Steelix confirmed was Flash Fire. It's Shore Up, Poison Fang, Anchor Shot, Spectral Thief, I believe. So that set doesn't actually threaten Koga at all. Koga can come in on that constantly throughout the game. But also, it also meant that like nothing else on my team switches into that. So I really like I knew Koga was going to be important in this game, but that, like, seeing that Steelix set made me think, yeah, okay, like I cannot let this get weakened, or I just don't have a switch into Steelix. So I get out of here against Dialga. I can't hurt it. I don't want to fuck around with it. I figured he wouldn't just go for an attack on Steelix, so it wouldn't do anything, so I take this as an opportunity to get Mewtwo in. I anticipate a switch to either Imposter or Giratina, so I just hit the Boom Burst. Goes well for me. Now, on this turn, I know he's not staying in. I figure he's either going to Ho-Oh or Imposter, so I click rocks. My thinking there, I could have gone for Boom Burst and done a lot of damage to Imposter if that had come in, which would have done damage to Ho-Oh as well. But my thinking was that, like, this is the only Pokemon on my team that cares about Imposter being damaged. And this, like, just gets bricked by his Ho-Oh anyway. So my thinking was, it was just more valuable for me to get rocks up than get damage on this. And if he went to Ho-Oh, like, Boom Burst from this just does pretty marginal damage anyway. And I'd be better off just getting rocks on that switch anyway. So I think rocks was my best play here. Now, on this next turn, this was a kind of interesting one. Like, I thought for a bit on this turn. Maybe longer than I should have. He turned the timer on me, I think. And maybe it was the next turn. Anyway, I click Boom Burst as he goes for rocks. Now, too far. So I click Boom Burst, does like 43, which reveals he is Violate, and he goes for rocks. Now, the reason I went for that play is, I thought, like, this set, Boom Burst, E-Speed, Close Combat, Stealth Rock, is, like, I thought, oh, it's really obvious that this is imposter proofed by Magic Bounce Ho-Oh. Like, this makes it really clear that I have Magic Bounce Ho-Oh in the back. And my thing was, okay, he's not just going to click rocks into Ho-Oh, he's going to, you know, do something else. Like, he's not just going to go for rocks on Ho-Oh. And my thinking was, he would think that I would want to switch out so that he could double into his Giratina to heal that up. Because I thought this was Prankster Giratina. My thinking was, he's going to try and go Giratina on the Ho-Oh, heal that up. And I want to be a big boy and call that out with the Boom Burst. In hindsight, this was kind of unnecessary. PDT has, I think, been out of it for a bit. Like, I think they're kind of rusty. I don't think they've played much. Like, I don't think they're super up to date with the current meta. So it might have been bold for me to just assume that he would assume that I was Magic Bounce Ho-Oh. So I think that was a risky play. Or not. Maybe not. Maybe risky is not the right word. I don't know. That was a dumb play. I think I should have gone hard Ho-Oh. I don't think I could have gotten punished much for it. I think predicting him go Giratina was really wild. I do not think he would have risked that. He'd been playing pretty safe for most of this game. So, yeah, that was a bold one. In hindsight, like, letting him just get rocks up like that was sketchy. Because, you know, my Ho-Oh doesn't have Magic Guard. I have to let it take rocks damage when it comes in. And my Defogger is T-Tar, which just lets him do all kinds of things. It's not a very good set. So here I go into Ho-Oh, because if he Boom Bursts, I live the like, he can't 2-Hit me if he goes for Boom Burst there. Although I think E-Speed in a close combat would have 2-Hit me, which would have been scary. I go into Ho-Oh, he goes to his Ho-Oh. He switches out into his Chansey to scout me, which was a risky play on his behalf, because he's like always run Anchor Shot. But I guess he just figured I was recovering, which makes sense, as I do recover. He gets out of there, realizing what I was, goes to Steelix, which is safe. I go for Spectral there again. So this game, I don't know what it was. I played kind of poorly the whole time, and a lot of the strange plays I made were because I was really tunnel visioning on the idea that he would try to go to Giratina to heal it up. And I didn't want that because I thought it was Prankster Giratina, and that can make things hard for Kyogre. So I was constantly making plays to try and stop him from getting Giratina in to heal it for free. And so that's what that Spectral Thief was there. And you'll see me do it a couple times later. I don't know. I played dumb a lot in this battle. I think I made a lot of poor plays. So I make the safe play into Kyogre here as he doubles into Dialga, which was smart, but I don't really get punished for it too hard. I go hard into Mewtwo. That was maybe risky. He could have Core Enforced it there. He could have even dropped the Z move. but like if he'd predicted Ho-Oh, because that might have carried me at 50, I'm not sure. Anyway, I go to Mewtwo, this forces him out. I hit close combat here. If for close combat, he goes into Ho-Oh, which doesn't do very much. My thinking was, it's the safe play if he expects me to over-predict and, you know, try to predict around the Ho-Oh. If he's Fur Coat Dialga, which they sometimes are on the Doom Desire sets, I thought it would be worth me like sacking Mewtwo to get the 50-60% off on that, because then it would be too low to stop Kyogre and it would have a lot of trouble healing on the rest of my team. So I thought that was actually worth it, because this just never gets past Ho-Oh and I don't think I have the tools to wear down the Ho-Oh. So my thinking was that this Mewtwo was not super valuable this game. And even if he does go Ho-Oh like this, it still sort of forces him to recover, as I can just go freely into Kyogre again. So the way it was looking for me at this point is that if I played it, like if I played smart with Kyogre, I could probably get through the Dialga, and then at that point, like Giratina's really weak, Imposter doesn't beat it. You know, he's got a Diancie, but that doesn't do too great against Kyogre. And then the Ho-Oh and the Steelix just get completely bricked by this. So I was thinking I was thinking Kyogre was my win condition, and I should try and get this in as much as possible to pressure his team as much as I could. So I get it in here. He goes Dialga. I'm thinking, okay, I want to start pressuring the Dialga. I want to figure out what's going on with it. I want to, you know, try and get it low. To where I, like, even if I get forced out, I want to get it low so I can break through it later. So I go for a Quiver on the switch here. I go for Ice Beam to check the damage, because I straight up just could not be bothered to calc. Does 42s, he recovers. Figure's recovering again, so I Quiver again. I wasn't sure at this point if he had Core Enforcer, because he had like a few opportunities earlier in the game where Core Enforcer might have been his best play. Like, I don't have anything that really easily switches into Core Enforcer, so I was thinking that if he had it, like there's a few places earlier, like where I switched Mewtwo in, where I felt like he probably should have gone for it. So that was leading me to think that he might, like, he maybe just didn't have it. He might have been like Doom Desire, King Shield or whatever as the last two moves. So I go for the second Quiver. I think I might just be able to break through this. But he does have Core Enforcer. He held that back well. As my Ice Beam puts him to 38%. Does 56. Now here is one of the worst played turns of my entire Pokemon career. That's kind of unfair. It wasn't that bad. But so this turn, again, I tunnel visioned. I think that's the problem I have a lot. I was thinking, okay, I probably win this game. Like, that was my thinking. It was, I don't think he has the tools to deal with Kyogre. I think I should be able to win this. And when I start thinking that, it's like my brain turns off. I think, okay, I should win this. And then I start sort of thinking and playing as though I've already won. And I forget to actually put the effort in to win the game. So I sort of stopped fully thinking through my plays at this point. And what that meant was, like, I was really tunnel visioning this turn on the idea of, what if I switch out as he recovers with Dialga? Because, like, obviously, like, I should switch out here, right? Because I'm taking, you know, 30 whatever %. That'll put my Kyogre at 18. You know, I need this to like, this is the win condition. I want to keep it healthy so it can switch into Ho-Oh and Steelix consistently. I shouldn't let it take all that damage, right? Like, even if I switch and he, you know, predicts that and heals with Dialga, it's not that bad. That's still the same position. It's still getting worn down by rocks and burn. It's fine. Like, my play here should have been hard into Chansey to scout the Dialga if he recovered, and just to be safe against, like, whatever else he may have switched into, like his Imposter or whatever. But I didn't. I was just, I don't know. Like, I was thinking too much about the upside of killing the Dialga here, that I didn't I didn't fully think through the consequences of my actions, and I go for Ice Beam as he switches to Imposter, and immediately I was like, ah shit, what the fuck? Why did I do this? I'm so stupid. I'm at 18%. He has a chance in that he's copying my Koga. I can't switch into this. My Koga's at 18. I have to heal this up. I have to defog the rocks and then try to get it in safely on whatever. This is garbage. Why did I do this? I'm stupid. That was my thought process. So I get out of here. I go into Giratina, and then the hits just keep coming, ladies and gentlemen. I just tunnel visioned on. So my thinking was, like, he knows I'm Prankster. He has to know I'm Prankster. Like, it doesn't make sense for me not to be. This is obviously Prankster Giratina on this team. So he'll expect me to haze or do whatever, and he should switch out. I'm thinking, okay, he'll probably take this opportunity as like a moment to heal up the Dialga or his Giratina even. So I should predict him to switch, and I went for Core Enforcer here and fucking died, and I just felt like the biggest goober on the face of the earth. Like, in hindsight, that play was just so obviously wrong, and like, it's so easy for me to sit here and be like, what am I doing? Why did I do that? But I don't know. In the moment, that made sense. In the moment, that play made sense. But in hindsight, like, I should have just hazed. I had glare even. I could have glared. Hate, like, anything except Core Enforcer was a great play there. But whatever. So I go into Chansey here. Now, he knows I'm Magic Bounce Ho-Oh. This has Spore. It has Scold. If he... Like, I was thinking, okay, maybe he'll try and Spore the Chansey to, you know, to get through it, to get through it easier, so he doesn't have to fuck around with Whirlwind or whatever. Like, that's... I don't know. That's the kind of very, like, high upside play that I probably would have done in his position, but he doesn't need to. Like, he can just... Like, Scold is very safe for him here. Like, that does, like, 35, 40 to Chansey, and it might get the burn. Like, it can't really go wrong if he just Scolds. But I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking, what if Spore? Gotta play around Spore. Big brain. And I fucking switched to Ho-Oh and died to Scold. And I don't know, man. Let this be a cautionary tale. I get Spored here. I could have lost the game, like, on the spot right here, but thankfully I got the first turn Wake and Whirlwind him, but, like, it's just done from here. Like, I don't have the tools to win. I don't have the defensive tools to handle Diancie or Dialga. I have to really put some work into like heal Koga up, and even then, like, it'll be hard to get it healthy enough to not die to Diancie E-Speed, and it was just bad. Like I don't know if I need to show the rest of the game. I get paralyzed here. I defog. I go into this. I take a bunch to Anchor Shot. My thinking was that I still maybe had a win condition with Mewtwo if I could get through the Ho-Oh somehow. Like, if I could maybe induce him into doing something stupid and letting it take a hit from this, even though it wouldn't have done much. But I don't know. I was pretty desperate. I think I was, like, playing for a crit here. This turn, I figured he'd recover or Anchor Shot, but he predicts Mewtwo and Spectral Thieves and kills me, and it's just over. Like, I like try to crit through the Ho-Oh with close combat a few times, but it doesn't work out. Might as well skip through this. This comes in, I go into this, take another hit the Ho-Oh, it doesn't work. I sack T-Tar to Steelix, and I go into this, and I don't crit it, and I forfeit. And it was a rough one. It was a rough one, I'm not gonna lie. Let's be a cautionary tale for all you kids out there. I could have won this. That's what really pains me. Like, this, I think the matchup was in my favor. I think the burn plus the rocks on Dialga. I mean, I think I would have beaten it in the long run with Koga. I could have. Like, if I just switched out as he switched out, he was at 32. Like, next time Koga comes in on Steelix or Ho, like, he doesn't have a defensive answer to it. It's... I don't know. I got too hung up. I got too, I was trying to be, like, too big-brained. I was thinking too much about the, you know, the big boy, smart, you know... I was trying to make the reads. I was trying to get like the high upside plays is what I was going for. I was thinking too much of the reward, not considering the risk, and I wasn't considering the fact that I straight up just won the long game. Like, if I just played this out, if I'd played patiently and carefully and just took took advantage of like all the free opportunities I got to get Koga in, I would have been able to get through the Dialga, and then he just didn't have an answer to it, and I could have. Man. This was a bummer, going back through this one. This is a real bummer. Oh well. I learnt from it, I think. I think I learnt from this game. This was a good learning experience for me. I hope this video was a good learning experience for you. You know, I still haven't figured out how to end a YouTube video. I don't know how they do it. I think if you watch dudes like PokeAim MD, Thunder Blunder, they have like shit to plug, right? They end their videos like, you know, check out my merch at whatever, see ya, peace out, whatever. I don't have that shit. I don't have anything to plug. I don't know how to finish the video. How the fuck? Like, what am I